Oh,
All right,
hey.
99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is, and right here we are actually live with a phenomenal band straight out of Illinois. That's right, we have Bad Planning right here, live on the radio, and of course Facebook and YouTube as well. How are you doing that? How are you doing this evening, guys?
We're good.
Pretty good.
And I got to say, first and foremost, guys, huge fan of your music, huge fan of what you guys are actually doing right now for the punk rock community, man. Love your music. Got to say that again, man. You guys are a killer band, so it's an honor to be able to welcome all four of you guys here this evening on the radio.
Nah, man, thank you for having us. Fucking awesome. Thank you.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. And obviously, I know you're busy individuals, so I'm not going to take you away from your evening too long. But I want to dive right into the beginning of Bad Planning. And I have to ask, man, like, what actually made all you guys decide to come together as one? And of course, how did you all meet originally?
It's such a long story. Alex, I'll let you take it from the beginning, dude. You get it to the present day.
So, myself and Jack here, like, started the band. We were like, I was 14. I think he was like 15, but we weren't good. And we didn't really do anything of noteworthy, except we played like a few shows and stuff when we were in high school. But we wrote some songs. We weren't super crazy about them in hindsight now, but at the time we were really stoked on them, and we pretty much played anything we could. Sometimes it was a bar that we had to like lie about our age to get into, or sometimes it was like an open mic or just like someone's basement or something. But that we really didn't do anything like super proactively until probably like 2019. Then we released a split with a band called Semester Abroad that Lawrence right here started, and that was like our first like real release, and that was like 2019. Then we started playing some real shows, but yeah, like I met Jack in high school when I was 14. It's like 10 years ago now, so it's in some capacity it's been around for a long time, and we've had members come and go over the years. But the dudes that you see before you, us four, this is like this is like the Bad Planning. This is the best. These dudes are they're my brothers, and we fucking, we're just toughing down now. But, and what made us want to play, I mean, like, we can just go around, but I'll start, like, I named the band after Bad Religion. So, I love Bad Religion. We, Lifetime, Rise Against, I obviously like Green Day and Blank, Newfound, but, Kid Dynamite, bands like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, picking back off of that, I mean, love playing with these guys because, I mean, Bad Planning has been a part of my life, like Alex said, for close to 10 years. It was gone for a little bit just because I went off to school, but came out right back and joined back up, and appreciate that ever since. So, yeah, love playing with these dudes, love the music we make, and it's an absolute pleasure.
Hell yeah. I came in like 2 years ago. Like Alex was saying, my old band, A Semester Abroad, did the split with Bad Planning. And I kind of fell out of the scene. That band kind of like moved on and just is in hiatus. And Alex kind of coerced me back into the music scene. I really fell in love with the scene, and it's been great playing with these guys. Just homies doing fun stuff.
I was getting my hand tattooed with one hand, and the other hand I was texting Lawrence. I was like, "You're gonna join, right?" But I just didn't let him say no.
I was like, maybe. He's like, yeah, we'll just play like a show, like maybe every 2 months. And then we booked a tour last February, and that was so fun.
You straight up cast the fishing rod and just got you on the hook and started slowly reeling you in.
That's how we do it.
I am the most recent addition to the band. So that was like, I don't know, what would we say, late last year, guys? Or
yeah, wasn't it that holiday show? It was the first one, right?
Your first show with us was Darkness Day in October. This past
right.
October.
It started in October, and I think the idea was always to be more of like a fill-in drummer. Alex and I go pretty far back between, the other couple bands that I played in, Guardrail first and then Mishandled. We played a lot of shows with Bad Planning. So I was always like aware of Bad Planning and aware of Alex, aware of Jack, aware of Lau through some of the bands that we played in together, right? So it was kind of cool to know them, right? Play shows with them through other bands, and then ultimately like stay connected. And then when the need for a drummer arose in Bad Planning, I jumped on the opportunity, and like I was saying, it was kind of more of like a fill-in deal. But the more that we jammed, the more that like we played shows, and I not gonna lie, saw the opportunities that they were getting, through Jumpstart Records and stuff like that. It's hard to not want to join them after stuff like that happens, So yeah, it's been awesome, and even going on the road with them, right? Like going on the road with people that like you just barely know through music and stuff, and having a kick-ass time through playing shows together and like boarding together and stuff like that. It's been cool.
And also, guys, on December 8th of 2017, you guys actually released one of my personal favorite singles titled Dead Ends and Amends. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this earlier release single. And of course, I was always wondering, man, what is the inspiration and just story behind this phenomenal song?
I wrote it a long time ago. That's an old song. I wrote it before any of the people you see before you like were like it was me and 3 other people when I wrote the song. And that's actually that's kind of how it went for the entirety of At Fortes. Obviously aside from like other parts that we threw in when we were recording like with Jack and stuff, but yeah, that's an old song. It's about some like pretty like gnarly personal shit, but it's got one of my favorite like I guess like chord choices, like D major, E minor, D, and C. So yeah, I mean it's an old one. It kind of like I was kind of trying to like rip off any like fucking cool band that I thought I could with that key and stuff, but yeah, it's an old one. It's been around since like 2018 probably, but it just got put out in 2022. So I'm glad it finally made its way out. People in the crowd love it. I love playing it. It's a fun one. It's in 6/8, which is I think it's our only song that's in 6/8 from the record, and definitely the only one we play live right now. So.
And I gotta say, obviously it is an older song, but I gotta say it's such a phenomenal single as well. I'm really glad that it actually made its way out to the public for not only myself but other Bad Planning fans actually to have the opportunity to listen to and of course enjoy it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I like that one. It's a fan favorite too, I would say for sure.
It's definitely fun to play live.
Mm-hmm.
Kev does this crazy fill.
Yeah.
At some point in the song, I always like look at it when he's doing it. It's a good time.
That is my favorite song to play. 100%.
Agreed.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, that is my favorite song for sure.
Fuck yeah.
And while we're just on the topic of favorite songs to play, honestly, I know this is kind of a cliche kind of question, but I'm genuinely curious because obviously, Alex, you're a founding member. Other members kind of, came in, came out, and left all throughout the years until you guys found the chemistry that you have today in 2023. But I have to ask, what is actually your most favorite song for you guys to actually play live that you guys actually still get psyched up to play? Because I know a lot of bands, sometimes they have that one song where they're like, oh my God, the fans love it, but why do I got to play this again? You know what I mean?
I mean, we can just go around. Jack, do you got one?
Yeah, I think it's 2 favorite that are currently in the set because they lead into one another. They were relatively newer songs. We wrote them fresh for At Fortes, the record we put out. What was that, like a year ago or something? But Selfish and Full Stomach. Selfish is definitely our hardest song. It's our fastest, and Full Stomach is our riffiest. And I just love how they blend into each other. Yeah, I think we really pulled out all the stops with those 2. So I would say those 2 are my favorite to play. Right into each other, nice and loud. Just the way we do it.
Yeah, I mean, mine. I have 2 as well. Mine is a Year Without Sleep. I wrote about my daughter, so we call it baby song. But I wrote that song when I became a dad. It's like my favorite one. But it's actually a really pretty song when you like slow it down and play it acoustic and stuff. But live, it's it's just like it's a really fast, riffy punk song. And it's about my children, and it's about when I became a dad, and it all like all the lyrics and all the stuff too. It came to me at once in a wave, and I have really good memories of writing that song in the hospital, when not like for good reasons, from when we were having my daughter and stuff. And then Be Brave, because it's like that was our first song that people like really liked, I feel like. And again, just super riffy, super fast. It's kind of stuff we love. So
I mentioned Dead Ends, right? But now that we're writing some new music, especially FMN, right? Like some of that faster stuff. We only played it once, but that's quickly becoming one of my favorites for sure.
Love to hear that. More of that to come, Kev.
yeah.
I agree with that. I do like the fast stuff. I think I would have to go with Jack and do Selfish. That one's just like such high energy, and we play it early in the set, so it's just like gets us going.
Yeah.
And then FMN, the new song.
And also as well, you guys are actually currently signed to Southampton, Pennsylvania's own Jumpstart Records. I was wondering, how did you guys actually ultimately get discovered by them? And of course, what is it like just working alongside such an amazing record company? Because so many amazing individuals are signed alongside yourselves.
Well, thank you for that. That's a really nice compliment, man. I found out about Jumpstart the same way a lot of people did, was just because a lot of bands that I loved either had come through that label or were on it. So for me, the first band that really made me pay attention to the label and just like fall in love with the vibe of it was Crucial Dudes. And later on, I was kind of a punisher for Crucial Dudes for a few years. I would just, any chance I could, plug that band. They were already broken up and stuff, but now I like talk to those dudes kind of somewhat regularly, and they're like this really cool people. But that was one of my like loves, my first like Jumpstart love, and then finding out about the label and finding out that they put out stuff by Wilhelm Scream and Belvedere and just like tons of other bands. They did some stuff with MXPX. They've worked with a really awesome band called You Vandal that we're friends with and love. So finding out about all of that kind of stuff made me just want to like be a part of it. And so through just like a slow process of me like sending Jeremy, shout out to Jeremy Myers, love you, Jeremy, sending Jeremy emails and sending him like updates on like stuff we had written, until it just became like more and more like, obvious that like this was somebody we would love to work with, and he was, gracious enough to put it out and really like the songs. So yeah, really awesome. I love the bands on our label. They're awesome. Fucking shout out to You Vandal. Shout out to Wes Hoffman. Shout out to everybody on that label. They're awesome.
Yeah, it's super surreal being able to like just look on the Jumpstart website and look through all the past releases and be like, oh wow, they put out some incredible stuff. And just to kind of think that we're a part of that, and they've been around for so long. They have an incredible mentality when it comes to music and what it should sound like, and everything around the right kind of punk rock. So we have absolutely loved this whole experience with them, and it's been really cool.
And also as well, May 6th of 2022, you guys actually released the amazing 8-track album titled At 40s. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this album, and of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of it today?
Sure. So, the At Fortes is a it's kind of like it's a collection of songs that are for the most part pretty old. As Lawrence and Kevin know, and actually I guess Jack too, we used to play like a lot of those songs pretty regularly, but there were only like pretty much demo level versions of them online and stuff, like on streaming. So like the songs kind of already existed for us. There wasn't like a ton of writing, but we like remade a bunch of parts and made them sound better. But like Lifer, Dead Ends and Amends, Midwest Classic, maybe a couple others. They're all examples of like songs that had already previously we were playing those. and they just kind of came together for one release on this. But you can find it for streaming literally anywhere, whatever you want, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And you can always buy it on the Jumpstart website, and you can find that in any of our social media links in our bios.
Yeah. One random story about this record outside of the music, when you're thinking about the album art, because we love the album art and the way it turned out. The way we got that and procured it, we went through a freelancer we found on the internet. I forget the man's name, but he lives in Italy, so we were communicating with him over the internet, and there was a little bit of a language barrier. And the album art is based on a dream that Alex had. Alex, if you can speak more to that if you want.
Yeah.
But it was between like a heron and a gator, and the heron was winning essentially, right? And it's like you wouldn't really think that, because but herons can get after gators or something like that. It was very Florida of us, even though we're from Illinois. So we the way the request worked for the freelancer is we had just like a little description box to write out our idea for the album artwork, and like I did my best to just describe it. But yeah, we got the first draft back, and luckily we had a few revisions. But if we still have like the original image, I don't know if Kevin Loud know, but it was ridiculous. It was
There's a tiny little gator.
a tiny little gator.
And there's
Oh my gosh.
It's like it's like cartoon.
Yeah. It was hilarious. So we were just like, oh my God, what did we get ourselves into? But then we handed the man back a few notes, and he whipped out what we know now to be the Et Fortes album cover.
Mm-hmm.
And from where it started to where it came was really impressive. So we love the way that turned out. And we think it's a great addition to that music as well.
And I got to say as well, it's really cool how, Alex, you actually implemented your dream you had with the album artwork. Because nowadays, it sounds bad to say, some bands just kind of whip together something just to get their music out. But the fact there's actually a really cool, unique story behind it, I find not only does the music resonate with the fans, but also the album artwork could as well, if they happen to have dreams about gators and birds and whatnot.
Yeah, there was a couple like dreams. So the first thing I was like, oh, this could be a cool album art, which maybe we'll use it at some point, maybe this will be from a dream as well. When I was a kid, I used to have this reoccurring nightmare, but it's kind of a dream too, I guess. It's kind of cool, where I was like a bird and I had a pair of scissors, and that's all I had to defend myself against like predators and like a bunch of like crazy people trying to come after me and kill me. And it's this weird reoccurring dream I still have every now and then.
Yeah, you got that tattooed in your arm, didn't you?
And I have a tattooed on my arm. It's a hawk with some scissors, because it was such like a strong image. But then I kept having dreams about herons like swallowing alligators, and I guess that like it's a real thing that happens in Florida and like stuff. So that was kind of what came out of it. But so maybe in the future, if you see album art of Bad Planning of a bird with scissors, it's from, we'll say it's from my tattoo, from my dream.
Yeah, and I especially love it too, because so Et Fortes, where we came up with that, I mean, Alex, I think the story was you had a friend who was really good at Latin or whatever, and you asked him the proper Latin for "Be Brave," which, of course, is an old song Bad Planning put out, and also just like pretty awesome phrase. So Et Fortes is "Be Brave" in like proper Latin. So I think it really translates to the art really well, because you would never expect a heron to go up against a gator, but that heron is given everything they got against him. He's being real brave in that moment. So I love it.
Yeah.
And also as well, just a few days ago, you guys actually had the opportunity to open up and share the stage with Canadian punk rock legends, Belvedere. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this opportunity. And of course, what was it like just being able to go on tour and kick it with Canada's finest?
Wow, Kev.
Well, I do want to clarify that we did just play the one show. It'd be so crazy if we played the tour with them.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get some flack for this, but I didn't know who Belvedere was before we played with them.
Oh, Kevin.
I know this is something that I think is going to continue to happen. As we play.
It happens, man. We can't know them all.
I know, and we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, but we're going to Fest, and I have no idea who a lot of these bands are. So, but yeah, not really knowing about them, and then getting into them and just listening to what they've put out so far, just they're all monsters, right? Like they're just all insane at their instruments. So, and then seeing them in person, like how ridiculous it is. You know, me being a drummer, I'm watching the drummer, right? Like we were all looking at each other and just going, how is this guy doing what he's doing? You know? But
someone saw us in that moment in our faces when they were playing. It was like, oh my God, I'm gonna try to do the face Alex made or whatever. If the people who don't have the visual, it was like
yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was saying.
It was
Yeah,
like
I think
that,
I was
though.
saying
It was like that for all of them.
it was
right for every member of the band, you know.
Yeah.
And on top of it, the drummer was singing. Like he was playing like insane parts on the drums and singing while he was doing it. I was just like, that's nuts. I'm gonna pack up and leave early, you know.
Hey, at least
That's
if you pack
like
up and leave
man.
early, you can actually beat the traffic. You don't have to worry about like bumper to bumper getting out of the arena. You know.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I think they're one of the most talented bands I've seen in a long time. I was telling Jack at the end of the set, it was just a very, very wow factor. It was an honor to share the stage with those guys.
Belvedere is a killer band, and one thing I've always noticed about Canada, and it's not always about Canada, but a lot of Canadian bands, they're really big in Canada, but when it comes to like the States, not a lot of people know who they are. But UK, Germany, they freaking are like worship them, and same with Canada. But just right across the border, it's almost like Canada, skip the States, UK. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is weird. And hearing them, I wished that more people saw them or knew about them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What was so crazy is they were saying like this was their first U.S. tour since 2002 or something. Like I think they went through a little hiatus in the late 2000s, but they've been active fully since like 2011, and they have not made it back to the States. So it was really cool to be able to play with them, and they came back to Chicago because they played in Chicago like in the 90s. They were this really big freaking band. And yeah, like Lauren said, I've been telling everybody who asked me what I did last week, like I just saw the most talented band I've ever seen of all time. And it was crazy. Like we love listening to fast skate punk, and this is fast skate punk on a different level.
Yeah.
It's technical, it is melodic, it's beautiful. And it sounded just as good live as it does on the recordings. So it was really fun to be able to see that.
There's a few bands that when you think about, you're like, oh, it's unfair that all those dudes are in the same band. You know what I mean? And Belvedere's one of them. It's like it's unfair that if there's 4 dudes in that band who are all just like that good at their instruments and stuff. And, you think, and then the other bands that fall in that category are like the Descendants or like Such Gold, bands like that. But I mean, they're just so good, and they were so nice. My God, they were so nice to us. They talked to us. They like watched our set. And they were awesome. And we've gotten to play by just whoever's looking out for us in the greater universe. But we got to play with a lot of our favorite bands, and that was one of them. So it really is. It was awesome. And I mean, I'm just gonna like tell you, while we're here on a Canadian radio show, I mean, Canada punk rock is unmatched.
It's some of the best, maybe the best.
It's just the fucking best. You got between Propagandhi, Belvedere, Living with Lions, Daggermouth, Rest Easy, Swear Jar. I mean, it's just like we could just go on and on.
Gob's another great band as well.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary.
Flatliners, that's you guys. Like that's all y'all. And I don't know, like this is such amazing band. So.
Yeah, they make it different up there.
Yeah.
Can't explain it. Yeah.
But also, guys, while we're actually on the topic of shows and performances, September 23rd, you guys will actually be performing in Aurora, Illinois at 734 East Benton Street. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this up-and-coming performance. And, of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets to come out and see you guys next month live in full effect?
So, I used to do, and I say used to because this is the universe telling me to stop doing. I used to book a fest thing called 913 Fest at my dad's house. The numerics on his address are 913. So since it was at his house, it just made sense to call it 913 Fest. Never had any problems with it. It's always been really fun. We've had some awesome bands at my dad's house, whether it be from 913 Fest or just like regular house shows. But so we had it all ready to go. We had light years and us and a bunch of our friends and stuff. And unfortunately, the village that my dad lives in was not interested in permitting the volume. You have to get like a permit for sound ordinances the day that you're going to be blasting music for whatever 12 hours, and they were not interested in permitting this. So my friend Jose, who plays in Half Empty, shout out to Jose, saved my ass, and that's actually his house in Aurora that he has a lot of house shows at called Halfway House, and he was willing to host kind of a shortened version of the lineup with us, Light Years, Keep Flying, the day after, and Half Empty. So that'll be really, really fun. There aren't any tickets online. It's just like true punks kind of style. Just it's all at the door. But we got some other shows in September too if my guys want to talk about them.
Yeah, we got one coming up this Saturday at Beat Kitchen, the Detour North Classic Chicago Pop Punk reunion show. Really looking forward to playing that one. And then I think we're playing out in the suburbs too, Chicago, with our good friends in Glory Days. And that's all that comes to mind. I think that's the 22nd, the 23rd. Then of course in October, going down to Gainesville, Florida with about 500 other bands. We're going to have a hell of a time over there at Fest. I think there might have been an October show I missed, but that's what comes to mind.
Oh, we're getting reunited with our friends in Wes Hoffman and Friends.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Burlington
Jumpstart
Bar.
Band.
Can't forget them.
Jumpstart Records. And that'll
It
be
sounds like your guys' rest of the year is entirely stacked and booked up, man.
Oh, that's not even it. But yes, right now we got one more that's unannounced that I think I punched a hole in my car when I saw I saw who was playing. So I was really happy. Ha 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 ha. But
is that one can't be released yet, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Soon though, folks. It's not anywhere near Chicago.
Hey, well, you know what? We're not going to speak about it, obviously, but make sure you follow them on social media and stay updated because you never know. It's not around Chicago, so it might just be in your neighborhood. Who knows?
Oh, we're going to go to Canada. We're going to go to Mexico. We're
We're going to
going
be at your door, DJ
we're
Mortal.
going to Tokyo. We're going everywhere.
Yeah.
But I got to say, though, if you guys do come to Canada, make sure you come in between the months of January to, like, September. You don't want to
Really?
deal with that Canadian winter, man. It sucks balls. I know you guys are from Illinois. I know you guys are used to the winter, but just warning you, Canadian winters hit different, boys.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not going to mess with that one.
I think we're trying to do some more international stuff, probably like this time next year-ish. Right now, it looks like it's mostly going to be Canada and or United States and or Mexico in some capacity. Canada, United States, Mexico. But Lawrence, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Let's just leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
Lawrence, what's the tour called? I'm just kidding.
Well, we have Canada, that's a C. We have US, the U, and Mexico, the Come Tour.
Hey.
I will say though, guys, that right there is good punk rock marketing. Just put like a little like splash emoji in the middle, be like the Come Tour.
Oh, it's so funny. And then just a big globe of all the countries that we are not going to.
Oh man, honestly, I have a really messed up imagination. I can picture that flyer in my head right now, and honestly, I find that is marketing gold. It will offend a lot of people, but you know what?
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, we'll get some bad planning rags or something.
And that all right.
It's a great idea.
All right, we're live. All right, there's no cutting that out, boys. But either way, I gotta ask, man, what is next for you guys, man? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview?
Studio. really excited, as we kind of aforementioned. Like, I'm getting like pumped about talking about it. But we played a new song at that Belvedere show for the first time ever. It's called FMN, and it's like, I feel like right now the stuff we're writing is like it's exactly what we want to hear, in every aspect: drums, bass, guitar, vocals, etc. Right? So it's going to be an extension of what is to come, and it's heavier, it's angrier, it's got more feeling, it's got bigger riffs, it's got way more complexity, better vocal melodies. So whatever this next release ends up being, we are very excited about it, and we're starting recording it in September, which will be next month. So I mean, I know me and my guys are fucking so pumped about that.
Been a long time coming. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping we could do it sooner, but we'll get in there. It's super exciting. The writing process has been a lot of fun, and to come in, I always love coming in, having some ideas to hash out, and then just seeing what direction it takes us. It's not just like a drum thing, right? I could, go this way or that way, but I like to be involved in the whole process. It's so funny. I think of like a melody or something and try to like hum or like sing it out. It never comes out right. And I've been wanting to learn guitar for the longest time, just so I could contribute in that way, right? Because what I'm thinking is not always going to translate well with like a singing voice or something, But yeah, it's been fun.
It's kind of like us like trying to communicate what drum parts we want for a certain thing. Like that's the absolute worst. Like Kevin, it goes or something stupid, and then you're just like, okay, and then you play it perfectly. So you can somehow understand that gibberish, but it's complete nonsense.
No,
you can't understand it. Okay, we somehow get it.
No, I can't. I can understand it sometimes. If you say 2-beat, right, we kind of have our ways of saying things, but like
we got our verbiage.
It's usually I try things until you go, yeah, that's what I meant. Mm-hmm.
We keep it simple here. We do. There's like 1, 2, 4 and half, right? Like
yeah,
for
the beats. That's the beats.
That's really it. So if it's like a boom, 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 which I'm doing the exact thing that Javis is talking about right now, that's half. If it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, that's 1. If it's 1 and 2 and a 1 and, it's 2. If it's 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, it's 4. So like it's like our own like little language. You know what I mean? That was really nerdy and stupid, but whatever.
And also, guys, I know how to follow you on social media, but for the individuals that might just be discovering Bad Planning right now, or are following the band but aren't following you guys as individual members, how can we actually go about following all you guys across all social media platforms if we're not already doing so?
Well, what are those Bad Planning ones first, right? You got IG, you got Facebook.
Yeah. The Instagram
TikTok
is Bad
coming.
Planning Punks. It's Bad Planning PUNX, so original. And we can just look up my name, Alex Crook. Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. We can just go around. I'm at Outlive This on social media.
Yeah, same. I'm J Coombs JRC. Hit me up there. Hit up Bad Planning first, though.
Yeah, hit up Bad Planning first.
We'll be tagged in some of those pictures probably. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Loudable on Instagram.
You can easily find me by my name here, but Instagram is Kev Lemonyak, lemon and yak like the animal.
And I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airwaves just a little bit of your Tuesday evening, man. It was such an honor speaking with all four of you guys and just learning a lot more about a band that I actually truly enjoy listening to, man. So
thank you, man.
I really hope when you guys drop this new music, we can actually get you back on the radio station airwaves and further promote your guys' music.
Absolutely.
But for now, guys, I got to say, definitely have yourselves a kick-ass evening, and really looking forward to that tour announcement when it does become available and is able to be announced.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
and
thanks for having us.
While we're here, we will be in Canada. Canadians, we will
watch out.
Watch out. We will be there. I'm serious. We will
We're
be
bringing
there.
rags.
By this time next year, we will be doing Canada. Hopefully, it'll be like a thing that happens somewhat regularly. So, we will make our way to Canada.
Sounds good. Well, we're following each other on social media, so I will definitely keep my eyes peeled. And then whenever tickets come available, I'm definitely going to snag myself a couple.
Sweet. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And you're most certainly welcome, guys. Have yourselves a great night, and we definitely shall talk here soon.
All right.
Thank you, bro.
All right,
Good night.
peace.
Thanks a lot. Take
Peace.
care.
There, guys.
See you guys.